The following program is a real estate and mortgage show and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Reality Radio 101, its advertisers and sponsors, or its listening audience. Listener discretion is advised. Good evening and welcome to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts Randy and Jackie right here on Reality Radio 101. To get on board, send us an email. Our email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, right to your hosts of Your Home, Your Money, Randy and Jackie.
Anything we can do left so. Hey, it's us. We're here. We're just getting some sad news. So Jackie's responding to it, and then she's going to put the phone down. One of our friends had heart transplant or triple bypass.
Yeah.
And it's a day later and they haven't come out of ICU yet. So they're still on breathing machines. So this is, let's just hope that
Oh boy.
it's all
Sorry.
good. But here we are. What's going on? You know what? I'm going to start right into the what's going on. To distract us from that news that we just got right this second. So what happened in February? So we're in February. We've been talking. People are saying, oh, the market is better. This is going on, whatever. You remember last year was a really, really bad year. Like it was a really, really bad year. So if we're doing better than last year, we're not really doing better. Let's keep that in mind. Last year was 67,000 transactions. The average price just dipped a bit from 1.12 to 1.11. And so we'll see this year we're on average 1.06. We'll see how it comes out. But right now, this month or February, sales were down 27%. So I don't know about you guys, but if your company's sales were down 27%, that probably wouldn't be a good thing. And so especially if it's down 27% and it's coming off of a really bad year, actually 2 really bad years, and then this year is actually trending 27% below that. It's not really good news for sellers out there, but it's better news for buyers. So buyers will have more to choose from. They'll have less competition, so they can then try to navigate the waters a little easier in some communities than they could have ever before. New listings are up. They're only up by 5.4%, so it's not a major number. But the active listings, which is the total amount of properties available for sale on the market, is up 76%. So imagine your company has 76% more inventory in their warehouse, in their store, wherever, and their sales are down 27%. So they have more stuff, but are selling less. And then the average price also dipped 2.2%. So your prices are coming down so that consumers are getting better value, but they're still not buying. And that's really what we're seeing here. It's also property days on market is up 16.2%. So it's basically all that means is it's taking longer to sell property. So it went from 37 days to 43 days on average to sell property. So that's in essence the marketplace. It really is a tough marketplace for sellers. If you remember just a little bit of going back a little bit, when you go to 2025, which is 5 years ago, and why it's important to go back 5 years is because typically speaking, the majority of people get a 5-year term, either a fixed or a variable mortgage. And, we know what happened to the people with the variable mortgages. They've been falling off this cliff for a while, and life's been very, very, very hard. Not only have they had to deal with mortgage increases and things of that nature, but also rampant inflation where price of banana and bread and milk and everything, gas, everything has gone up. So that affordability is really, really hard to even buy food, but then your housing costs have gone out of control as well. Hence the reason why here in Canada, Trudeau is not very popular because nobody's really happy with the current situation. However, when we were in COVID, everybody was like trusting in what the government was doing. And it made no sense. They were just spending money like crazy. And if we remember, I remember one thing that really got me, well, there's quite a few things that really got me, but one thing in particular was where Trudeau announced that the frontline people, which he randomly picked a group of people, it's almost like, you're a winner. And the people who were the baggers at the grocery stores got a $5 an hour raise from the government. So basically they were getting like 15, so now they're getting 20. So they got a 25% boost. Why? Because I think when he flipped the coin, it landed heads, and that means that they get it. Something happened, something really strange happened, but he started just giving away money, just dumb stuff. And he had to hook up with NDP, which is, again, spend more money, make government bigger, give away more stuff, because that's their way of doing it. Because they believe that you can take from the rich and give to the poor, and it just never works. You just get a bigger poor class, unfortunately, or a class of poor people. And we're seeing it play out right before our eyes. We're spending more and more money on the homeless now than we ever have, and more people are homeless. Matter of fact, you can even find people who have jobs now that are homeless because he can't afford accommodations. But if you're to look back 5 years, which would take us back to 2020, and again, why I said that's important is because the mortgage cycles are pretty much, on the most part, 5-year cycles. And so we're going back to 2020. In 2020, there were 95,000 transactions, 95,066 transactions. And back then, those people had very low interest rates. So their mortgages come due this year. And so those 95, or a portion of those 95,000 people, are going from like a 2% mortgage to now a 5% mortgage. And that's a big increase on their monthly payments, and many of them will not be able to afford it and will be forced to sell their homes. But what's even worse than that is in 2021, which is next year, for the 5-year mark for next year, there were 121 properties that had sold, And those people, or a portion of those people, are now coming due. And they even had lower rates. That's when we were down to like 0.25%. The Bank of Canada overnight rate was about 0.25%. So people were getting fairly low mortgage rates. And now they've got to come and face the piper with the current rates, and they just won't be able to afford to keep their homes. And so there's going to be a portion of that 121,000, which is pretty much next April, March, April, I believe it is going to be the biggest influx of mortgages coming due. So we're going to start to see, as we're seeing now with inventory levels up 76%, with more transactions that are coming due next year. We're going to really start to see an over inventory problem, with sales down 27%, so nobody's buying them. And realistically speaking, if we only sold 4,037 properties, but there's 19,536 properties available. So we'll just call it 4,000 and 20,000. That means 1 in 5, between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 homeowners are going to sell, and the rest are not going to sell. They can't sell because there's just not enough transactions for them to sell, which means the 4 out of 5 that aren't selling are going to be competing to get their home sold so that they don't lose more money. And so it's going to be an interesting spring market. We're entering into it now. I believe transactions will go up based on last month's, but will they be better than last year's? I don't really think so. And because of that, we're going to start to see some price declines, a little stronger than what we've been seeing. The market's been holding tight. I can't believe just how strong the market has been holding. And I think a lot of it, in my personal opinion, I hear a lot of opinions out there, but my personal opinion is I believe it's replacement costs. Like, you just can't replace the homes nowadays for less. And therefore, we're kind of at the rock bottom because inflation has been so inflammatory. So now everybody needs more money to build the homes. It costs more money to finance the homes while you're building it. And then it costs more money for the material. So it's just, that trifecta is making the price of homes very, very expensive.
You want me to do a few emails quickly?
Sure, babe.
Some may be related to what you're talking about. Randy and Jackie, so sorry to hear about your friend. My prayers are sent. Thank you so much, Hank.
Thank you.
Eric, what makes a difference? Buyers and sellers, what makes a difference? Very few folks can afford a house with the down payment requirements, and now with the possibility of a recession, with the tariff war. Let's talk about food or sex. Eric.
Well,
what's more exciting, Eric? Food or sex? Tell me, which one?
I think the combination is really good when you mix the two, because then it's not too much of one or too much of the other.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Really?
But
Okay.
my wife probably doesn't share that opinion. However, it's an interesting thing to visualize.
There's more emails.
Yeah, but let's just talk about that one again. What was the start of that one? What was the start of that one?
Well, it makes a difference. Very few folks can afford a house with the down payment required.
Payment, and then what do you say after that?
With the down payment, and now with the possibility of a recession.
Okay, that's what
with
it was.
the tariff war.
So yes, the down payments, I think it's eased up a little bit. I think once they remove the stress test and maybe even the 10%, remove that and keep it at 5%, but then, your monthly payments can be crazy. But, with 25 to 30,000, you can buy something small, a small condo out here in Oshawa. And so in different parts of the city, depending on the size. Like I know of a 2-bedroom coming up, that'll be somewhere in that range. And
Two-bedroom where?
and you could, with $25,000 down, you could purchase a condo or that. So then, the other thing is when you talked about the recession, we've been in a recession for quite some time.
Feels like forever.
Our government isn't really showing us the stats, but that well, because what they're doing is when the GDP is up 1 or 2%, they're not really accounting for per capita. Because you bring in 1 million more people, you have to take that into account. And so because it costs a lot more for 1 million more people to cohabitate. So the truth of the matter is we've been in a recession for a while, and we're all feeling it. I believe we're all feeling it. I believe we're all feeling it in the price of gas and the price of food, price of just about everything. But we are also pretty resilient as Canadians as well. So we've basically managed it. And you know what? Also, Canadians are just very peaceful people, because our government should be getting in a lot of trouble for the stuff that they've been doing, and nobody holds them accountable, and it is what it is. So we're stuck with the aftermath, with the extremely high prices of everything. And but sex is free for many of us. So,
Okay. For many?
So that's, for many of us, married ones.
Well, that was quite the switch there.
I'm not sure if it's free for everyone, though.
It's not free for you.
What? Oh, because I have to give you all my income?
Yeah.
Small price to pay.
Isn't it? Okay, cool. So we got an email from Katie, and Katie says, "Hey, Randy, how's the new car?"
Wow. I mean, come on. Who wouldn't want a new car given to them?
He's got almost 2,000 miles put on it already.
Kilometers.
Kilometers, yes, sorry. Where the hell am I? I think I've already transferred to the U.S.
I still can't afford to put gas in it, but...
No, I'm doing it.
But it's been, it was...
Randy's allergic to the gas pump. He doesn't know how to pump gas.
It was given to me cash free, so it's pretty incredible, to be honest.
And William and we, as Canadians, think that this Carnegie is going to be better. He gave a lot of advice to Trudeau when he was the Prime Minister. Same old, only worse now with the tariffs. Liberals are nuts.
I don't know very...
It's scary. It's scary whoever's going to come in. I'm sorry. Like, right now, it's...
I don't know much about him, but oh my, Liberals... the stuff that I heard him say, like he actually likes this carbon tax. I'm just gonna say, me personally, I am so against the carbon tax, so against it. I actually think it's a scam. And I honestly mean that. Like,
is he the one that said it needs to be more?
It needs to be more.
Wow.
It's not enough. And if
Wow.
some of the things I process, and I am sorry for being totally opposite of what many Canadians feel might be fair, but
The carbon tax? You think a lot of Canadians like the carbon tax?
because they believe they're saving the world. They believe that they are saving the climate, right, with carbon tax. So somehow, and I could never wrap my head around this. Somehow you have this plant that makes plastic glasses, let's say. And so this plant gives off emissions. So we're going to charge them a carbon tax where they can't even afford to be in operation and make glasses. And so then they have to leave Canada. So then what do? They move to China, where they say, oh no, we don't care about the emissions. Just make a factory and get going. And so they make a factory and they're making glasses. So now our emissions, because we share the same air as them, our emissions are much higher. And then get this, we then use more emissions to either ship it by sea or by plane back to us. And we actually believe that we're saving the world. Like, is this for real? Is this, like, I just don't get it. I'm just too stupid for this kind of stuff. And that's why I'm a realtor and not a politician, because they're smart enough to get that. But to me, that sounds like you're causing more of a problem, similar to the problems that we're having now. The United States finally has got a president who wants to shake things up, okay? And he wants to make things great for the United States. Unfortunately, then it's not great for anywhere else. It's great for them. And he's trying to make the United States more wealthy. So now what? We have had all of these come to Jesus moments is the best way I can describe it, where we want to save the number of frogs in a particular location and mosquitoes and save these trees.
I don't want to save the mosquitoes.
Whatever it is, they're saving these, whatever it is, and we can't have these different pipelines and plants. We can't have these kind of things. So we have to depend 100% on the United States instead of being able to ship it anywhere in the world. And then the United States turns rogue and says, well, hold on a second, you gotta pay us. If we're giving you this kind of luxury, you gotta pay us. And now where are we? We're nowhere. So all these real leftist tree hugging, mosquito counting, frog saving policies that we have are coming home to roost. And I'm not going to blame it on Donald Trump. I'm going to blame it on us, because he's just doing what he believes is great for the United States. And hey, all the best to him. I wish we had somebody that would do that here. But for us, what we need to do is we need to be thinking global. Instead of these protected industries, the protected farm industry, then, you know, next thing you know, we're gonna, my example is, we're gonna start growing bananas, and we're gonna make this big dome where we can make these bananas, and we're gonna grow bananas now, and spend all kinds of billions of dollars so we can make our own bananas. What the heck? What's this for? Just buy the silly bananas, and let's start thinking more globally, and let's start benefit from our resources.
Okay, but when you knock down all the trees, the coyotes are coming.
That never
and
happens.
they're going to steal my little dog.
We are not that dumb.
I'm kidding. But they are. Look, all these animals are now coming out, looking for food, looking for shelter.
Listen, for those people who think that we're going to chop down all the trees and not have any trees, it's just so ridiculous.
I never said that.
You did say, you started with that. You just plant more.
Look, they cut down a tree across the street from our house.
So you have
What's next?
You have tree farms. You know, that's what they do. They have tree farms, and they'll grow the trees to be able to cut them down instead of letting them burn down. Like, it's just absolutely insane. We are so backwards, and here we are, the creatures that can think. You know, our front brain allows...
What do you mean? All those creatures can think.
Well,
some animals are smarter than some humans.
Which animals? And
poodles.
And which humans? So
poodles.
Let's get that straight. It's.
Anyways, the emails are piling up here. Mike says, who cares about all this information and statistics? Right on, Mike. Tell us how to get some money. Hi to Jackie. Hi, Mike. You know what, Mike? I think we should get together and we should do some crazy videos, like stupid videos, and maybe we can go viral, make some money. How about we all do that?
Who's we all?
I don't know. Who's in?
Yeah.
Who wants in?
I'm not in.
We should...
I know how he can make money.
How can you email us? I'm sorry. I'm blacking out right now. I'm spaced out. I am so sorry. I apologize. I am really sorry. I can't get my brain off my friend.
Let's give him an idea of making money. You could be
Amazon storefront.
If you're located here in Canada, you could be the first person to have a banana farm, and everybody's
Okay, you know
gonna be a
what? I'm going
tourist-
to cut this off right now because
be a tourist
you're
attraction.
being dumb now. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, I don't know how to make any money outside of
Email
real
address
estate. I
you
really
give
don't.
away.
info@yourhomeyourmoney101.com, and we're on.
No.
Did I get that wrong,
no,
guys?
you got that wrong for sure.
Oh my gosh, did I, Mike?
I'm not totally sure. Be sure to mention YouTube.
Yeah,
Facebook.
if you'd like to, folks, if you'd like to write in right now, you can write to us, and the email address is yourhomeyourmoney101@gmail.com.
Oh my gosh. I told you I'm out of it right now. I can't even think straight.
So
Thank you, Gary, for that.
You were speaking when you were saying that the animals are smarter than the humans.
You're-
You were speaking from personal experience, right?
Oh no, you didn't. I want to thank those people that came out. We had a few people that checked out our YouTube channel and subscribed. Thank you so much. And we are on YouTube and we are on Facebook.
Your Team Pros is on YouTube.
Yep. And what is our handle on Facebook, Mike?
At Your Team Pros. Same.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
It is
Okay,
the
cool.
same.
Check
That's
us
Your Team
out.
Pros.
You'll see just what you're dealing with us tonight. It's kind of I'm a little spaced out.
Yep. Any of the social media platforms actually
Yeah.
where Your Team Pros is how you'll find us.
And Tim says, "Hey, real estate people, tonight's topic. Remember friends at $5 iced latte day is $25 a week, $100 a month, $1,200 a year. After 10 years, that's $12,000, which is still nowhere near enough to put a down payment on your house. So enjoy your espresso in peace." Oh, gee, I wasn't expecting that, Tim. But you're right.
But,
I mean, you know what I find
you missed
though?
the part of it.
The thing is, what I find though, I've had so many people over my career. I've been doing this for almost 26 years, Randy for almost 40. And there's so many people I've talked to before they bought a home. And this was, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, yes, before everything went crazy. But that thought they never own a home. They own a home, they are fake. They're going away, they're in Paris, they're here, and they didn't even think they were going to be able to afford a home. So don't give up. That's all I can say is never give up. I know it's hard and everything is crazy, but I don't know.
Besides, if you're
Don't
having
give
a
up.
latte a day and spending $12,000 in 10 years, you're probably a latte a day. You're probably going to be very ill in that 10 years. So buying a house wouldn't really matter. So
Okay,
I would not
I don't know about
have
that, but
those
okay,
sugar
fine.
lattes every single day. Have one maybe a year.
Okay, so Holly says, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Holly, I'm not sure. I hope I am. He says, Randy, is this me? So is this Jackie? My wife was going through my phone and asking who was saved as jumper cables. So I said, that's you, since you always like starting stuff. That's how the fight started. That's how the fight started. Not, and that, no, actually, that sounds like
I'm
Randy.
changing your name right now to Jumper Cables.
That sounds like something Randy
That's
would
good.
do,
That is
actually.
good.
So, yeah. Ken says, here's what Carnegie says on his official website. Whoa, okay. He is for the carbon tax and increasing it. Supports higher interest rates from the Bank of Canada. Cut the federal budget for police and the military. Relax the border since he does not believe anything is awry anyways with it. Public funds to transition your biological sex. Pay increase for all of Parliament. More woke hires in the government. Look at his website. He is sick. Is this for real? Ken, are you for real? Is this stuff actually on his website? Then he needs to be taken out back. Never mind.
Taken out back. Give me a break.
He needs to be taken out back. And somebody needs to put the boots to him. Look at this. What is this? This is all nonsense.
Yeah, who knows if it's true though.
He said check out his website. You'll know. Why would Ken say it's on his
He's
website?
one of these what the heck? What
is going on?
The liberals
Why is
voted
all
this
this
guy,
in
but
politics
We
anyways?
don't even know if that's true. So,
Well-
before we go reacting,
Oh, and Dave says, don't give up. This is the answer. It's tequila with salt and lime. Okay, Dave, that might work
I
actually.
hate tequila.
Don't give up. Yeah, I know, but a lot of people drink it. But I think a lot of people that I've met too, they do vodka shots. But I don't do none of that. But hey, I don't know.
Maybe they drink tequila because it's free.
Tequila's free. How's
Yeah.
tequila free?
That's the only way they would drink it. There's no other way.
Tequila's not free, and some of it's very
why are they
expensive.
drinking it?
The real good stuff.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay.
Oh, here we got another one. Sorry. Donna, Jackie, we have to build. Look at all the illegals, brackets, the idiots, immigrants coming in. They have to live somewhere. We can plant more trees. I know, Donna. I'm not as bad as what Randy pretends that
She's a tree
I am.
hugger.
I am an animal lover. I mean, yeah, I like nature, but I love animals. So I'm probably the person that would get eaten by a polar bear because I'd want to go up and touch it. So yeah, that would probably be me. But yeah, I don't know. It is tough out there. I know that. It's I don't know.
When I met Jackie,
What?
she was chained to a tree. She
No, I
was
was
trying to
not.
stop the guys from cutting it down.
No, I was
She
not.
looked so cute.
I was not.
Okay.
But listen, let's talk about this. Hamilton has opened up a new outdoor shelter for the homeless, and it's 80 spots. And look at these little places. It's like a little cabin that a couple or two people family members could live in. I'm okay, I guess a single parent with a child or something as well. But they're cute little cabins. They have air conditioning, they have heat, they have a little table, they have a bed, and they're all lined up down like this. And they are housing people, and it's led by the Good Shepherd. And phenomenal. Look at these little things. And then they have a little basket of, essentials in there when people come in. There's 2 beds, a little fridge, basket of goodies, and and then they have shower places that you can go in the same, little bathrooms and showers. I think this is amazing. Like, why can't all of these different cities, why can't we do this for our homeless and our veterans and our people that can't afford to live instead of giving money?
Hugging stuff?
No, but they're giving money outside the country to people to do this.
No,
Why aren't they doing it for our own? I'm sorry. No, what you just said is wrong.
You're a tree hugger?
No, because they give money to other countries for
I
No,
agree.
let me finish. Zip it. To support people in other countries so they have food and housing. And we have our own people. We have our seniors now that can't afford to eat 3 meals a day. They can't afford medications. There's something wrong with this, okay? There's something wrong with this.
So we know firsthand that the Whitby decided to do something for homeless, and they bought this place. They overpaid for it.
Yeah, but that's
and
stupid,
still,
though.
they did $14 million.
You know how many of these they probably could have built for 14 million?
Fine,
It's
but
just
they
dumb.
did what they did, okay?
Stupid.
Because they were being nice, whatever. They were
Stupid
being a tree
decisions.
hugger like you. And they put this
Stupid
place
decisions.
in you call it stupid decision, but this is what exactly you're talking about, building the place for the homeless.
No,
so
I'm not. I'm
now in that area, they have people running naked in the parks. They got homes that are being
Who
burglarized.
told you that?
Are you serious?
Who told you?
Are you serious?
Who told you?
You know about it, so why are you asking?
I told you that.
Okay, so then why are you asking? So, anyways, keep focused. They got all these problems coming now because because of like what you said. Oh, isn't this cute? Oh, we should build this.
But
Where
Randy,
do you
this is
build
a
it?
specific area that they have, a big piece of land that they've done this on.
And the
They did that in Whitby, right in the middle of
and the people
everything.
who live in that neighborhood now all want to move. So I'm for this be nice and all this stuff, but it comes with huge consequences. And I think that we need to really think these things through. First of all, yeah, I do agree with you. I really like what they're doing in the United States. Bring back all of your money, bring it back in. But first of all, you got to have a government that doesn't have corrupt arms. And that's not going to be easy because most government does. And so we saw Trudeau be corrupted. I don't believe he was a corrupt individual to start, but we certainly know he's the only prime minister we've ever had up on ethic charges. So let's just start with that. So we got our issues here, but how much money are we wasting and what can we do about it? At least in the States, they're doing something about it. And then look at the other side. Instead of saying, yeah, this is a good thing, they're like, no, this isn't good. Then they're trying to pretend all kinds of stuff. And now you got people going and trying to blow up electric charge stations and Tesla this and for what? Because you're trying to actually save America's budget, trying to make it, more reasonable, trying to make it so that you know where the money is going, trying to make it so the money isn't going off nowhere and saving, hundreds of billions of dollars. But no, this isn't a good thing. Is this what they're trying to say? Or are they just trying to say, well, some people lost their jobs that shouldn't have? Well, that happens. With all good, there's bad, and with all bad, there's good. The problem is that if it's bad and the good comes out of it, sometimes you're going to need to lose people. And that's just the way it is. So to help to get rid of the bad, you're going to lose some good. That's the way it is.
Well, that's
And
what
then you're gonna
COVID was. That's what the vaccine was. They're getting rid of some people.
Getting rid of some people.
So you support that?
What?
Getting rid of
COVID?
some people?
It depends who. What are you talking about?
I'm joking. I'm just bugging
It
you.
depends who.
Anyways, Helen says Carnegie is a ex-banker and advised Trudeau in his financial decisions. He loves taxes.
Yeah, this is what some of the stuff that he said is kind of a little. It's very troubling.
Yeah, Cindy
I
says.
want to move more to the direction that the American government is moving in. I know this is a bad word here because we all kind of hate Trump. Right now, our liquor stores have lost 20% of their inventory, can't get American stuff. He's looking to throw tariffs on us, and if he does, I hope that we rain down on him like there's no tomorrow, shut off the lights in New York and a couple other things, and just go all rogue, just to show that, hey, listen, you can go messing with a lot of people, but some people you can't mess with. We're your neighbors. We're your neighbors.
But we're
You're gonna
the
turn
nice
on us?
Canadians,
All
right?
Well, then don't go to sleep. That's all.
Don't go to sleep.
Don't go to sleep because we're here. And
Don't
then-
turn your back on us.
The weird thing is there was a big movement of people starting to warm up to Donald Trump here in Canada, and he just went and blew all that. But he doesn't care because he only cares about America, and I get that. I actually understand where he's coming
Yes,
from, and I'm happy for America.
but I think you have to.
we are the little.
You got to work together with all the countries.
We're
Like
the
you
little
can't
chihuahua
just care
that
about
keeps
yourself,
barking.
right?
They're the pit bulls, so they're either gonna have to kill us or.
Cindy says Mr. Carnegie is a climate change advocate
Yeah, I
and has
know.
publicly stated that no money is enough to fight this. He believes in
true.
putting billions into that. That was in his acceptance speech.
Let me ask this question for those who are out there, if you have an answer for that. If we were, forget about billions, if we were to take $50 trillion, 50 trillion, like more money than we even have, and we were to throw it at climate change, what would we do? What are we going to do? That's what I would like to know. They're not going to do nothing. So this whole climate change with the carbon tax, it's just a scam to add more taxes. They need more taxes. We got problems. And then the most insulting thing that I think that I've ever heard is when Trudeau says, "Yeah, but the carbon tax that they're paying, Canadians are getting it back." Well, then why take it? How stupid is that? So you're going to take a tax and then have a group of people sit there and document it all and regulate it all and everything, and then you're going to go and have another group of people go and give it back? How much does that cost? What are we doing, washing money now? It's absolutely insane. So to even speak like that, that's when you know you're talking to a scammer. You know, in the streets, anybody ever talk like that? Hey, give me $10. Don't worry, you guys are all gonna get it back. You need to give it now, and then we're gonna save the world. Forget about it. Those are scammers, and I just see it as a big scam.
Andrew says, Randy, make money, get into porn.
I'm a little old for that now. In my younger days, you might have had me.
John, so if we may cut off some of the power to the U.S., why did Hydro One and Enbridge just announce a major increase for us here in Ontario? It makes no sense. Are you kidding me?
So
This is ridiculous. So now, don't worry about
more expensive.
Don't worry about buying a house, because if you do, you won't be able to afford the hydro, the gas. Hello, like what the hell?
Especially if we're going to heat our house with electricity. Everything is going to be electricity. This is absolutely insane. For any of you who are old enough to remember the days when everything was electricity, and we finally got rid of that because it was just too expensive and inefficient, and now we want to go back. Our governments want to spend money to take us back there like if we never were there.
And it's funny because when I show a house,
I can't even believe it.
Or even before I show a house, if it's electrical, heating, I'm like, let's not go.
Nobody wants it.
It's almost like this house is tenanted. We're going to stay away from that.
The only people who want is the government.
It's, like it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So Bart says, hey, I looked up some of that stuff online regarding Carnegie. It is all true, but not all of it is on his official website. It is in articles from different news organizations that have quoted him, and he is on video saying some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bart.
Thank you, Bart.
Gail says, the money put into this so-called climate change has done absolutely nothing. Thank you, Gail. It's robbed from our pockets is what it's done. And Canada,
saving the world.
And Canada has one of the lowest carbon issues in the world since we have very little heavy industry to pollute the environment. It's a scam. Yeah. Well,
Pollute the environment. So,
let's talk about Reynolds for a minute.
Reynolds?
Before you get into all that. There's this new thing. Well, it's not a new thing. It's always been something I've wanted. But now they've named it Dirty Kitchen.
You've always wanted everything. Everything you see, you want.
Yeah.
Even though you don't want it after you've bought it.
But if I didn't want anything, then what would I be doing in life if I didn't want anything?
What are you talking about?
If I only cared about what I needed, I'd be a boring person. You know that, right?
No,
Yeah,
you wouldn't. No, you'd find other interests like accomplishing something.
Are you saying I haven't accomplished anything?
I'm in trouble. This is a problem.
No. This is a problem.
There's a problem with jokes. Sometimes they go too far.
No. The problem is your big mouth.
Okay.
It doesn't know when to close its lips.
All right, so what's up with the dirty kitchen thing?
And your lips big enough to close your mouth.
What's this dirty kitchen thing?
This dirty kitchen is what I've always wanted, which is a kitchen behind a kitchen.
A butler's kitchen.
Yes,
Okay.
but more than a pantry. This is it's an entire kitchen behind a kitchen.
A butler's pantry.
So you
is a
can do all
kitchen.
your cooking, everything,
Right.
and then just bring everything out.
Right.
I'm not saying that, having an entire kitchen behind there, but I think having your small appliances and all that to be back there, fridge.
They have an entire kitchen behind there.
Yes, and it's called Dirty Kitchen because that would be your dirty kitchen, and then the other one is it's kind of like what the Italians did years ago. When you go into the Italian's house, Their kitchen and everything was always immaculate and spotless, looked brand new, because they cooked in their basement.
In
They
their
did
second
everything,
kitchen.
and we have a friend that does that as well. Does all her cooking in the basement.
But
and
there's other butler kitchens which are attached to the kitchens, and
Yeah.
they have a door. They close, and so if you're cooking fish or anything that
But you see?
would make the
See this one,
smell, they that it's in that part of
They're
the
very
kitchen.
compact
The butlers.
kitchens,
They're
which I'm-
compact,
which I'm-
lots of
I'm
shelving
used to a
and
compact
open
kitchen.
Doors. Yeah.
But look, this is like, look at this. It's got the wine. Like, this is gorgeous. Look
But
at
it's
that.
different. You're used to a compact kitchen because you don't cook. That's why you're used
So
to a
how come
compact
your
kitchen.
stomach and everything's so big if I don't cook? How'd you get like this?
It's all gas. It's bloated.
See how many, you guys need to go on YouTube and see my husband. He doesn't look like he's starving.
No. Because I'm healthy.
So who feeds you? Just wondering, who feeds you? Who feeds you?
You do.
Your girlfriend?
You know I'm not allowed to have a girlfriend.
Not.
Or at least you're not allowed
Whoa,
to know
whoa,
about
hold
a
on,
girlfriend.
hold on. You're not allowed to have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the relationship stuff.
Okay. What are you
Not
saying? If I was allowed?
to have a girlfriend, that would mean that you want a girlfriend, but you're not allowed.
Sounds accurate. What? I said something wrong again? Okay, none of this is
I am
working.
going to Barbados next month with my children.
So what's this hydropower thing? What? Okay, first of all,
Oh, here we go.
name one
Bill.
guy out there that would just want one wife if you could have more.
You can't even handle me.
No, but at least when one's giving you trouble, you can go to the other one.
And if she's
And
going to
that's-
give you,
well,
you
then you
no,
have
no, no.
five.
But you cause trouble everywhere you go, so
don't
you're
cause
just going to
trouble.
have trouble.
I don't
You
cause-
have more than one wife, you're going to be killed in a
One
week.
of them will have a sense of humor,
No,
so that she'll
not
appreciate
for you,
the jokes.
not for you, not your jokes.
Another one
No.
will find me dashing,
What?
and then that'll make me smile.
Could somebody please help me here? Please help me. Bill says, Hydro One estimated that its proposed 2025 rates revenue requirement will be a result in a 9.2% increase to average transmission rates and a 3.8 increase to average transmission customer bills, has shown in Table 6 an average of $55 more per month for the average homeowner. You know what, Bill?
And what about taxes?
I'm wondering
have
if
gone up?
has anybody actually looked at their water bill and everything? Do you ever, no, you don't even know what that looks like actually. You don't even know where the mailbox is. But anyways, do you know?
I know approximately where
You
it
know
is.
approximately? Okay. This man has never paid a bill in 30 years, so yeah. He doesn't know about any of those things. He couldn't tell you what anything cost. But I swear, my last water bill, I kid you not, I believe it was the last water bill that it was over $200. Wasn't even water I used. It was bringing the water to me and the sewage and the, like, how? Like, it's stupid. When you look at the amount that you actually use compared to what you're paying, it's stupid. These people are retiring rich.
And we don't want a doge. We don't want us to be holding government accountable and
Why not?
reducing money and waste. I don't know. It's like a
Why
big
do we
thing.
not want to hold them accountable? They're
you've-
spending our money.
You've got 40% of the United States or 30% of the United States that actually doesn't want that doesn't like it. You've got the
That's the
whole other
states.
half of government, almost half, just under half of government that doesn't want it. Like, how? And so what? So why? Why don't you want it? You know why? Because you're on $150,000 salary, but on that $150,000 salary, you somehow manage to make $95 million. Like, this is why you don't want it. Because if you take away all of those channels, all that extra money can't be funneled to the different places where it gets funneled to. And to me, after hearing half of the stuff, you can go online and see it. Half of the stuff. One of the things was operations for transgender dogs in some country.
Dogs.
So transgender animals in some country.
I
Millions
did
of
not
dollars.
hear that.
No, I saw it in an interview, and it
So
was right out
that
of
sounds
Elon
more
Musk's
okay.
mouth.
That sounds more like experimenting on animals. That's another problem.
Well, that's a different problem. But the point being is that this money is being squandered. Like, it's just silly. It's just silly, and people are fighting against it. And so then that's how we have $200 just to bring your water from here to here, because the government needs the money, because the rest of the money is being squandered. And guess where they get the money from? Us. And we're doing nothing about it. And I actually think Elon Musk is 100% right when he says that, government is supposed to be for the people. And so, but it's
Yes.
not, it's bureaucracy. So we're not living in a democracy. We're living in a bureaucracy, and that's why if I go and talk to almost any one of my friends, they'll all say, "Oh, government's corrupt. Government's corrupt," but nobody can do nothing about it. Well,
Because
right
they're all
now
corrupt.
in the United States, they're trying to do something about it, and you got 40% of the population, or 40% of definitely over 40% of the government trying to stop it. And I just am blown away. Blown away by this whole thing. But I'm very, very happy that right now that we can sort of see a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, okay, we don't like what Trump's doing to us. Okay, it's not cool. It's not nice to turn your back. It could be many other ways he could do it, and the rhetoric that he uses is just concerning. Canada being the 51st state. He doesn't need to do that stuff. He's the most powerful man in the world. He needs to learn a little bit of coof. But he doesn't have that. But nonetheless, his other policies, trying to make America wealthy again, bringing home, stopping all the waste and all the extra money that's being spent, and
That would be
condensing
nice to see
the
that in the
government.
government,
I'd like
yes.
to see that here.
Yeah.
It would be so
But
amazing if
it's
when
like
he
you
finishes
said-
4 years there, if Elon Musk and Donald Trump come here and run things.
But it's like you said though, if they start going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, they're going to start losing their incomes that they have on the side.
That's what I think is.
Of
That's
course.
what I think it is.
How do
but
they
I don't
all? How do they all come out of power?
know. With so much money.
So, they're like Phil. Like look at Obama. His kids are stinky rich, and they were in their 20s. They are stinky rich. Like how does it? So come on. Like
I think, personally, I think
corrupt
Obama's a
crap.
slightly different animal, and the reason why I say it is that because he was a black president of the United States, he is going to have so much attention on him that he can demand whatever he wants
is it-
to go.
you know what?
So I think he's an anomaly. But the Clintons and and the last who's the woman that
when you were
that was
sleeping
running
last
the
night, your computer was running, and I swear they were talking about Michelle Obama is now doing a podcast with her brother about
yeah.
relationships and all this.
Yeah. That's nice. What's wrong
Just
with that?
saying. No, nothing. Anyways, John says, so you see why the power cutoff to the U.S. is a farce. They are supposed to be hurting them. If that was true, why are our rates going up? I just looked up the rate increase here. It's nuts. Canada talks out of their ass.
You know what?
And I don't have a problem saying the bad words like Anthony. You notice that?
So here, like Canada, if only they could get together and they could actually plan to how can we make Canada make more money as opposed to how can we piss off Donald Trump, okay? So for example, they pull all the liquor out from the liquor stores. Do you know that costs us money? We have to pay staff and everything to go and do that. Then we got to store it, and it's costing us money to do this bonehead move. And then guess what happens? Now Canadians who want that are going to drive to the States to go and get it. Well, I know some Canadians aren't going to, but many are, because they were doing it before and they'll do it again because that's what they want. Why don't you just keep it on the shelves? Why don't you just tariff it 100%? Make it stupid expensive. If somebody wants to buy it, then you're making money. Or do 25% tariff, whatever it is. Make some money from it. Don't pull it off the shelves and throw it away. We're supposed to be making money for us, for Canada. Instead, you get caught up in this damn tariff war and you start being stupid. Same thing with the electricity. You know what? I would like to see America's lights in 3 of their states be turned off. I would like to see it, but not turned off because we're into a tariff war. I'd like to see them being tariffed at 25%, 35%, 50%, whatever it is, and then have brownouts. Have brownout at dinner time. So for 1 hour.
What the hell is a brownout?
When there's no electricity for an hour.
How is that a brownout?
It's called a brownout.
Why?
It's I don't know why, but typically, like if everything isn't going down, it's going down in waves. I guess that's what they call it, a brownout. So we have brownouts, or you can call them blackouts, whatever you want to call them. But at strategic times, you can do it. I like the idea of dinner time when people are home and they want to cook and stuff like that.
Turn the lights out?
Yep. And just for an hour, turn them back on. And then
Randy's going to cook when they come back on.
At least now, rather than
because I ain't cooking an hour later.
We have to be compassionate to those Americans as well, because realistically speaking, they're not asking for this. This is a Trump thing. So we need to send a message. And if we could strategically plan it where we could actually shut down to the Trump Tower, that would be better. But I don't think we have that kind of control. But that's what I'd like to see us do, things that actually is bringing us more money rather than just having a war. You might as well make money, right? Because we need it. Look, you're going to raise our taxes. You already raised the house taxes. You're raising other taxes. You want to raise the carbon tax. You might as well think about how to make money in all situations, not just the ones that are convenient for you. That's my take on this. And that would be nice.
Well, I don't know. I just think when the world becomes too expensive for anybody, it's not good. It's sad. It's disruptive for seniors, for children. I feel like those are the people that suffer the most because what happens, right? Seniors, like I said, they cannot eat 3 meals a day. Kids can't have the activities that they need to learn, to grow, to meet other kids, to get, physical activities and all this. It's like... I don't know.
Whoa. Toronto's outperforming the outskirts. I'm just looking here. I know I just changed speeds here, conversations. But the 416, detached homes are down 27%, while the 905 area is down 32%. I find that quite fascinating. Condos are down 17% in the 416 and down 30% in the 905. So townhouses are down 32% in the 905 and 23% in the 416. And semi-detaches, townhouse. And then 19% semi-detaches are down in the 416 versus 24% in the 905. So, all over in every category, detached, semi, townhouses, condos, the 905 is getting beat up more than the 416, which I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought we would have seen a bigger issue in the 416 because of the pricing, but the stats aren't saying that. And
That's it. We're out of time.
well, we're out of time. And also, when I do look over the map to see the various areas, East 416 is on fire still, whereas Central and West are much cooler. But East is very low on inventory, and that makes sense to me in the sense that the East is the cheapest part of the 416 area. So that kind of does make some sense. But that is our show. I kind of wish my wife didn't take over and and ruin parts of the show.
Got to get out of here. I got to go home and cook.
Okay, thank you for joining us. This is your home, your money, and our lives on realityradio101.com. Bye for
Bye
now.
Thank you for listening to Your Home, Your Money with your hosts, Randy and Jackie, right here on Reality Radio 101.